to the greatest of the greatest. A podcast that you never knew you needed. With interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice. Asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening to Full Buddy Cast.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to the episode of Full Buddy Cast. Full Buddy Cast presents. You know, this is turning into the Billy Custalow, Billy St. Custalow,
Nikki St.
Custalow,
Billy Painted Horse.
Billy Painted Horse. This is turning into the Chronicles.
Mephistopheles.
The Chronicles. So we're gonna get through the sponsors, and then we're gonna dive right in for episode 3. If you need to catch up, go backwards. Whatever you're listening to, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere that you're listening to. Yes, you can. We're just probably not on iTunes. You can probably, or no, we're not iTunes. What's the TouchTunes? You can't play us on the jukebox. That's the only thing you can't play us. That's the one place you can't play us. We're even on YouTube. All right. So with that said, we got Cole Street Brewery, 1627 Cole Street, Enumclaw, Washington. Go in, say hi to the brewmaster Sean, and take yourself in. Show him that you've taken yourself in on social media with the hashtag of Full Buddy Cast, and he'll give you 15% off your drinks. Go to Bordeaux Wine Bar right down the street as well. Google it. You guys can Google or DuckDuckGo it, or frickin' do whatever you need to do to get there. Also, take yourself in, show your server, Full Buddy Cast, and then go to Mazatlan and Enumclaw. Say hi to Andy, and then he'll also hook you up as well. If you're at home and you don't like to go out, DoorDash yourself something from O Chef Country Kitchen in Enumclaw. It's located, if you want to drive there and you don't want to, maybe you don't want to go to some place, you're in your sweat, so you're going to show up and just order there. Say hi to Dan there. It's in the parking lot of The Claw over by where the Pickle Factory Road used to be, or is currently, but it's now not a Pickle Factory because it's getting redone. We've got Patreon members that I'm going to shout out real quick. Go to patreon.com, type in Full Buddy Cast, and you can just donate $5. Buy me a drink. Buy me a drink a month. I'll take that. We got Kellen Hall, Hollygraph, Adam Kenny Art, Seth Loop, Cassie Spencer, Amanda Keating, Shekinah Sarver, Jared Skelly, Homer Robertson, Ben Illman, Jamie Roberts, Jamie Kenny, Apollo Doodle, Jackson Zyduk, Sasha Carey Lynn, Thomas Savageau, Anthony Wright, Cameron Stratton, Katri Hoban, Homer the Vet, Jackie Van Hoof, and Dan Coote Snyder. And we've got our very own, let me say it again, let me redo this. By the way, guys, I picked today. I didn't really pick today. This usually works well for our schedule. But I picked today because it's a beautiful day in Enumclaw, Washington. And I just wanted Billy Custalow, Nikki St. Custalow, Billy Painted Horse. I wanted him to drive on down here, see that big, beautiful mountain, and think to himself, I have to move to Enumclaw as soon as possible. He mentioned it last episode, but I needed to give him a little bit more.
Oh, I definitely need to find a place out here. Need to find me a sugar mama that can help me move out here.
How you been, Billy?
Hey, if you're gonna order that DoorDash because you don't like to leave your house and all, just do a couple of courtesies. Yeah. Open some windows and let that place air out because you probably stink. And while you're at it, go wash your funky ass before the delivery boy shows up. Dude. You know, I mean, and tip the guy because, delivering food to people just sucks. I mean, people suck, but I mean, delivering food to them sucks, twice as hard. So
I don't think
I did it with pizza down in Arizona. I'll never deliver. I'll never do that again, dude. I swear I'll sell fentanyl on the corner before I do that again. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I don't think you know this, but most of the Full Buddy Casters do. Maybe you don't. Huh. So my wife started doing DoorDash delivering. She's a we don't really talk where she works, but she's a store director, right? And so anyway, she started delivering DoorDash for fun on the side, just to make a little extra side money. And I lost a bet to her. This is about 8 months ago, and I'm like, and she's like, "You got a DoorDash," and I'm like, "I don't want a DoorDash. I don't want to do it. I already got my 40 hours a week job. I'm good. I got the podcast going." I lost the bet. I signed up. I'm addicted, man.
Making money.
Like and crazy, that is exactly, yeah, you're right about that, man. You get some funky people out there. And so for me, it's like I'll throw it on for an hour, maybe once a day, or every other day, and then it's my Vegas money. So all the money that I make from that, I just end up frittering it away down in Vegas. And,
that's right. You just went down to Vegas for your mom's birthday.
My mom's 70th.
70th,
yeah.
right on.
Good memory.
Good time, huh?
Yeah. Awesome time. What we can Did you
get any whores?
Nope. That didn't. Not for my mom's 70th.
I was like when I'd sit in Hard Rock and they, be sitting there at the Hard Rock drinking and probably on something, couldn't go to sleep, just sort of bored. Everybody else has left, and I'm just there sitting at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
And a girl comes up and goes, "Hi, you want some company?" I'm, sure. You want to go somewhere? And I'm like, oh
yeah.
Like that. Like, how much?
Now I see why you approached
I'm like,
me.
no, I'm looking for the free stuff. She says, honey, you're in Vegas. Nothing's free. I was like, yeah, I know. That's pretty much what I'm saying is I'm not looking for anything. I was like,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. So last week we
last week it's been
a couple weeks ago. A few weeks ago. Yeah.
Well, man, you're younger than me. You should have a better memory than me.
That's true. 100%.
It's been a few weeks.
Our cliffhanger was the prosecutor's office in Arizona.
Not prosecutors. No.
It was DA.
DA.
Sorry.
DA was hot on our ass.
The DA. So. We also got to get a baby update, and then we got to figure out also the grandbaby update, I should say, and then got to figure out this trip for your sister's wedding.
Sister. Yeah, going garden party, attire shopping with my son-in-law. He's developing my son-in-law Victor Rodriguez. In fact, his family doesn't live too far from here.
Oh wow!
Yeah, just up the road a little ways. I called him up and asked him if he would give me a hand because he's got a really good eye for fashion. And my daughter and him send pictures to me. They'll go to Emerald Downs or they'll be in Hawaii or some other function, but they're getting dressed up, Halloween parties, whatever, and just always just to the nines, And I'm like, you guys got a good sense of style, so. Called him up and said, hey, man, I got to go to my sister's wedding, Maria's wedding. And, they know Maria now. So I said, what the fuck is garden party attire?
Yeah, what is that? What do you say?
All right, think Easter. Think like a tan jacket and a lavender shirt.
Okay.
And maybe white slacks or something.
Mimosas.
But to me, it's very, I want to say metrosexual. It's very urban style, younger men. Definitely this newer, younger generation, not maybe millennials or something. I don't know. I like to think that back when I was married, my ex-wife and I, we did a lot of culturing things. Dinners at nice restaurants and wine tastings and stuff like that. But I'm trying to recall if I ever had to dress a certain style.
I feel like you still put your flair to it, though.
Perhaps. I'll find out. But with Victor, knowing that's why I called him, because I'm like, I got an ace in the hole. Like, I don't even have to step out. I just make one call and boom, I'm set. Oh, sorry. And so I gave him a call and he's on it. He's developing a game plan for us, and I guess probably in the next week or two here, we're going to go shopping and get me my pimping big brother giving his sister away at the wedding. Garden party attire.
Then you got to have a cane.
Well, I'm hoping I look like something out of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I'm
top
like
hat, little
Johnny
cane
Depp.
going.
Yeah, man.
That.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I could do the top hat too. Yeah, definitely pimp the top hat.
Yeah, dude, you got the long locks, you got the beard.
Everything looks good with the long hair, man.
Yeah, so I feel like this beard
thing.
is getting a little more fuller every time I see
it. Oh yeah. This is I call this the Karma beard. I started growing this right when Karma, my pit bull, died. I just haven't shaved since she died.
Really? And so how long ago was that?
December 22nd.
Oh, wow. So
this
about almost 5 months.
Almost, yeah. 4 months. Yeah, 4 months.
Oh yeah, 4.
Yeah, coming up on 4 months. Oh no, what's today? Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday was 4 months.
Wow. And so so are you what's the plan? Are you going Duck Dynasty? Are you gonna
I'm going. Yeah, I'm growing it until I'm done mourning. And
gotcha.
As much as I love that dog, I could mourn for a while.
Gotcha.
I carry it well. I can still smile. I can still laugh.
Yeah.
But I lost my best friend, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm focused right now. Like I saw a dog yesterday, 9-year-old Australian Shepherd. girl wanted to give away, and I was like, for a second, I was like, oh yeah, girl, Aussie, miniature Aussie, and then I was like, no, man, it's just 9 years,
not yet.
Like, yeah, but the other thing is 9 years. You've had her for 9 years. Like that separation's that's gonna be a lot to deal with, and then I don't know. She lived for 5 more years. 8 more years? Like, how long does she live for? Because Aussies will live at about 14, 15. So, like, we get about 5, 6 years, fall in love with this dog, and go right through it.
Through it again.
No, man, no, and then I'm like, and I got this whole yard project I want to get done. I want to get everything done before my dogs and my grandsons go running around in the yard. So anyhow.
As we learn more about you, here's the thing, guys, the listeners that have been joining. By the way, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for the feedback. I know that that you post it everywhere, and people will comment. And thanks for the feedback on that.
Now send money. I'm just kidding.
But I kind of like the transition that we've kind of naturally started doing, where it's been, we hear some stories about the background. But then we're also hearing your current events, current life, current views. Yeah. And I think one fun thing, it's always a good warm up.
I am the spectrum, man.
Well, I'm trying to find this. I have rapid, basically questions.
Oh. Okay.
And just to kind of people get a little more insight
sure.
into you. So I'm just going to go off the top of the head. It's going to be fast. 1 word, 2 word answers. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So
I've done this before.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Okay.
About $250
say
an hour.
Say your ABCs backwards and be on 1 foot. No, I'm just kidding on that. Okay. So
tell me about your mother.
Favorite ice cream?
Chocolate.
Favorite coffee flavor?
Coffee flavor.
Are you?
I am a cream and sugar, old school. Yeah.
How many
strong
packets?
And black.
If you're at the Denny's.
if I'm at the Denny's 5, 6, 7 packets, I tell them, hey, can you bring me a bucket of sugar and a shovel to dig it out with? And they laugh, and I go, no, really. I go, you're wasting your time with all the sweet and low. I said, I'm going to go through those 4 packs in that little thing there, and I'm going to be calling you back over for another whole thing of them. So you might as well just go ahead and bring me a bowl.
So what's your
bowl of sugar? I like to have coffee with my sugar.
So we're gonna hang with the breakfast right now. So,
okay.
So
scrambled eggs and bacon.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh man, and I tell you what, I hate McDonald's. That shit's poison, bunch of chemicals, but God, that bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle is crack. Damn.
It's good stuff.
Dude, I mean, look, a chocolate shake and a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle in the morning will get your hypoglycemic level so fucking high, man, you'll probably see airplane pilots.
Oh, my
God. I mean, like, I just, that is, oh, man, I don't know what they did. I don't know what they put in there, but they hit it with that one. But I stay away from it. I don't eat that crap because, like I said, it's terrible for you.
So you stay home. You stay home at home. You're gonna make breakfast.
I scramble my eggs and make my bacon. Toast my marble rye bread, and then make a bacon scrambled egg sandwich,
like
maybe
sandwich.
some mayonnaise or a sandwich spread sauce, whatever that shit's called. But
nice.
Yeah, but nothing too fancy. I'm a simple old country boy from Richmond.
This
Virginia.
is rapid fire, Bill.
Okay.
I got to.
Sorry. I threw a Kevlar vest in the way there. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Continue. Pull the trigger.
A place you haven't visited that you want to visit.
Hawaii and Australia.
A place that you have visited that you wish you never went to.
Oh, God, Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Now let's dive into that one for a moment. I'm okay with that. I know this is rapid, but I want to hear about this.
Well, okay, so you've never lived. You don't know what adrenaline is until you are getting pulled over by the Utah State Police in a rental van with, 2 pounds of coke and 5 pounds of weed in the trunk. Right?
Yeah,
Thank God for your clean cut, smooth talking, chill as fuck driver and friend Morton, who does all the talking, and me sitting in the back smiling politely and hands clasped in my lap like a good little Sunday school boy. Yeah, let me tell you, boy, because but anyhow, I had a friend, Mikey, who lived up there. He'd moved up there, and God, Rock Springs is such a shithole. And I'm sorry, people of Rock Springs, I don't mean any offense to you. It's just the city you're in is a shithole. I don't know if it's an individual thing or a collective thing, but your city is a shithole. You know what? I saw a thing on podcast or something, or some show recently, and they were showing like in each state the worst city for like crime, and I shit you not, Wyoming popped up and it went Rock Springs. I was like, thank you. It's not my opinion anymore. It's fact. It's been established. Fuck you, Rock Springs. No, I made a lot of money in Rock Springs. Got lucky because a lot of shit. I'll just a short synopsis on this.
Sure.
Some guy stole a bunch of money and shit from me. Next thing I know, I got my Mexican friend in Arizona, associations,
Yes.
sending up a guy that doesn't speak a word of English. And I'm hacking through conversations with him with my Spanglish,
Doing the best you can.
doing the best I can to explain to him why $6,500 in cash and $6,500 in product are no longer with me. Because we left it in the safe, and when we came back, the place was broken into and the safe was gone. I found out much later my friend Mikey was in on it, unfortunately. He's since died. He wrecked his truck, his 4x4 up there, 4x one night drinking and shit. And died. So he is forgiven. As Lamb of God, no muerta says, you are forgiven. But I was up there and I was making a lot of money, but I just realized like it's just this dry, dirty, just pass through it on your way to Yellowstone or Yosemite kind of town. The only other town that I thought was as just, God, what the fuck do you do here? Is Rollins, Wyoming, on the way to Cheyenne.
So still in Wyoming.
So still in Wyoming, man. And people are like, why is it the least populated state in the union? Because there's a fucking reason. You go there one time, you won't have to ask that question again, I promise. But yeah, I remember playing mini golf in Cheyenne. I was waiting for somebody to pull up or something. I forget. But yeah, just Wyoming was... like I said, I made a lot of money there, but it's like it's nice.
You had to sacrifice a lot. Aspects.
And I told you about the club where there was a rock and roll club on the right and a strip club on the left, and my friend Mikey was the DJ in the strip club, and all these bands were coming through, and occasionally some of the bands would let me get up on stage and sing, a song with them, whatever. And but yeah, so I'm just setting up shop, just selling, yayo, like Scarface up there, and of course, the dancers want to be my friend, and the rock bands are just, coming there from Minnesota and Nebraska and Colorado and whatever, and they're loving the shit out of me, So I won't say it was a terrible time. It's not like I had a horrible time. Indeed, quite the opposite. But that incident with that person stealing, that ended everything, because once that happened, the word got around apparently to the sheriff in that area about some guy from out of town. And once I had heard that, my mama didn't raise no dummy. Once I heard that I had plucked the red flag and put it up, right on top of my head, I was like, it's time for me to get the fuck out of Wyoming.
Was it?
So, let me tell you. You know what's adventurous? 1992. This is 92, 93, probably 92. It's probably 1992. I'm thinking 91, 92, somewhere in there. It's been a long time. Coming through Salt Lake City through the airport with a fanny pack with $9,000 in cash in it, and then throwing it on the belt, and it just going through, and them not blinking an eye. Like I said, that was 1992. After 2001, after September 11th, like that shit ain't happening no more. Right. A lot of things used to be able to do. You used to smoke on the fucking planes. the stewardesses, not the flight attendants, the stewardesses would bring you peanuts and cocktails, and if you were really cute, company. But it was an interesting time. I just recall that I had, like, I'm just going through the airport, just throw my fanny pack up there with $9,000 in it, and it's like, no big deal.
So then,
the hubris of all that, though, like I said, I'm never trying to brag.
Right.
The sad thing about all that is, like, all I have are the stories to tell. I don't have one penny to show you from anything from back then. Maybe one of these shit tattoos on me that I got covered up, but I mean, yeah, well, no, it's probably covered up by now. But maybe her. She's about the only lasting one. All the rest of the crap ones got covered up. But point being, yeah, it was quite the adventure.
When you got out of Wyoming?
Mm-hmm.
Was that it? Were you done at that point?
Yeah,
or were you on your way out?
I got back to Arizona. A friend of mine got married, and I had to go get my suit and all that. I just remember hanging out.
Not a garden party wedding.
No. This was black tuxedo, all that shit in Phoenix in June. It was brilliant. Was it June? Maybe it was a little early. Maybe it was spring, April. But anyhow, I just realized, like, man, I'm going to miss all of this if I get caught up. And God, there's some stories I want to tell you, and I don't want to take too long. So I wanted to sing. I'm a singer, man. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm a singer, right? I have a purpose. The reason I came to the West Coast was not to be a drug dealer. It was to be a singer. So I realized, okay, dude, make a choice. Keep running dope. Take the risk. Fuck that shit. Get a job. Stay local or whatever, sell little bits of shit. So if you do get caught up, you hopefully just get some probation, whatever, but you're making these big, like, these ain't little boy deals. These are big deals. You're fucking around, you're going to find out, and you're going to do 25 to life for some dumb shit. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me start looking for a band. So I found these guys, ended up calling ourselves Industrial Slam, and I started singing for them. And that and working at the gym gave me a purpose. But unfortunately, as I started singing in the band, we started getting pop. This has happened with most of the bands I sing with. I get in them, we practice for a while, we started playing out, and then all of a sudden we start getting really popular really fast because people are like, damn, that's a pretty good singer. And I always have a good ear for the bands I sing for, so I don't sing for shit bands. So I'm like, we start blowing up. Next thing I know, it's back to the days like when I was going to the strip clubs and I was the yayo man. It was free drinks and, So now I'm with the band and I'm bringing in people to these clubs and the bartenders all know me and they're like, drinks on the house, Nikki, it's all you. But so I just got back into drinking. So I got away from all the dope and now I'm starting to drink again. And it's unfortunate because it cost me a lot of valuable years with my daughter that I can't ever get back. But I do recall when I left Phoenix and moved up to Seattle because my friend's band up here wanted me to move up here and sing for him after Industrial Slam's band room got broken into and cleaned out by some meth addicts or something. But I remember my mother telling me when I called her to say, hey, I'm moving back to Seattle. This is April of 94. She says she felt like God lifted a weight off of her. Oh. She goes, when you got out of Phoenix, she goes, I just felt like God was telling me he's going to be okay now. Because she says, I don't know what you were doing in Phoenix. She goes, but I just knew it was bad. And in hindsight, I told her, like, yeah, Mom, moms know. I guess is the point of that.
So you said back to Seattle. Was there a point that you were in Seattle for a bit?
So the reason for our story today.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Wait, that's awesome. See, this is why we should work out. Oh my God, man, we're like peanut butter and jelly over here and shit. Yeah, it's amazing. So I never had any inclination or desire to ever come to Seattle, Washington. Heard it rained all the time. Not a big rain guy. Love that Arizona sun. But during my time there, now this is the first go around. This is after the Axl thing in February of 87. February of 88. Wow, yeah, we're 88. Okay, so now that's around that time I've been in Phoenix for a little over a year. Had come from LA, got there in January, met all these people, met Jay and Gina, go back to Richmond for a month, work at this job. Friends call me one Saturday morning. I just like, God, I don't want to be here anymore. So I'm back to Phoenix. So June, late May, June, I'm back in Phoenix. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to go get a job. So I go get a job at a roofing company.
Oh, yeah.
And I do 1 week.
Yep.
man, that's another job I will never do again. I'll give Hummers on the street corner. I'm never fucking doing that again. I get the paycheck, and Jay and I sit up and we start turning and burning, and we're just making money. Like I said, I just get into this, let's be serious about this mode, and we just clicked. And we just, me being social butterfly, I'm out meeting everybody. And so we start making enough money. We make enough money to be able to move out of the apartment that he was in when I first came along. We know this girl. I honestly, I can't remember how we came about meeting her, but I'm sure it was through somebody we knew, through our business. And anyhow, but she was a wonderful lady. She is divorced. She had a couple kids, and I'm not going to give her name for the sake of, I don't know if she's out there. But I'll just make up some initials. Let's just call her KC. Okay. We'll just call her KC. Remind me of that. I'll write that down so I don't forget it.
I got a billion Casey Kane things back here.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, that guy works. So we'll just call her Casey. Thank you for playing along. Yeah. You picking up what I'm putting down. Anyhow, she's a wonderful lady. Ex-husband was kind of a prick, the whole, I'll give you money when I feel like it. So she would struggle from time to time. And of course, she worked in real estate, and, there was feast and famine. And so she would come to us, and from time to time, we would give her money. She would get fronts from us, because she liked to do a little bit. She wasn't she liked to do a little bit. But we would give her money from time to time. She'd, say something about, I need to get groceries for the kids. I don't know. And we'd be just like, here. And we give her money. You go, here, go buy groceries for the kids. And she goes, well, I'm going to pay you back. I'm like, don't worry about it. She's like, no, write it down. So we wrote it down on this owed list. Jay had this owed list. Oh, sorry. Jay has this owed list. So he writes it down, 70, just KC 70. And now keep that in mind, because that's a saving grace for us. So anyhow, we're going around, things get me. Jay and Gina start having issues because hot chicks are coming over. Jay's wanting to fuck them. She's not down with it, and she's losing her shit. It really put a mental strain on her, and I really wish that it hadn't been that way for her. But anyhow, they need a break. So they're like, we're taking off. They take off and they go stay at a hotel somewhere, or a motel, whatever, down the ways in Phoenix somewhere. And, I should say this, Casey, she had helped us get into our townhouse that I told you we lived in there, up off in North Phoenix, off of Thunderbird and I-17, off of a little road called Emile Zola Drive, or music. Yeah. And this little townhouse community, nice townhouse. She helped us get in there. So that's how we knew her professionally, but we also knew her personally. And when I had to break up with a girlfriend, she let me stay at her house, drive her Volvo all over the place, jamming on the Scorpions and shit on her car stereo, and just dealing with my heartbreak and everything. But she let me stay at her place. She went out of town for a little bit, let me stay and watch her house and drive her car and everything. She entrusted me with her home and her car. So we had a bond with this Casey. And we're getting bigger and bigger. And then meet this guy. I'll just call him, we'll just call him Polly. Paulie, yeah. Paulie, dude. Paulie. Anybody that knows the story knows who I'm referring to. Paulie, dude. Paulie. He's a singer, and he's singing with my friend's band, and he moves in with us. And in fact, he's the one that introduced me to the young Hispanic kid whose uncle was Laeme, and introduced us, So that's how that all came about. So he's living with us, and he's envious. He wants to be a part. He sees the big dogs, right? He thinks it's easy. He wants to be in this. He doesn't want to be a little guy. He doesn't want to have to wait for the scraps to fall off the table. He wants to go out and make his own meal. He goes out and he makes a deal without our knowledge, without our permission. It's a half-key deal with an undercover DEA agent. He's fucked. But he's not, because he turns and he knows who our guy is. He turns on that dude. because he knew the kid. And so, of course, so I get a phone call. Nikki, let me preface, a few nights before, or maybe a week before, Jay had called me and said they got pinched by DEA outside their motel room when he and Gina took off. They took my briefcase, $3,500 cash, a little nugget of weed, just a tiny little bud, and some of this fucking peanut butter bathtub crank that was just absolute shit. That was it. But they took $3,500 and the list of IOUs. So okay. So you're seeing the story coming around. Okay, you're yes. Putting the pieces together. Okay, so this just a few nights later, he goes and makes this dumbass unpermitted deal and gets popped. Next thing I know, my phone's blown. The house phone, because this is 1988, dude. This is like landlines, you know, like pagers and landlines. Phone's blown up. I get a call. Get rid of everything. So I become a whirling dervish. I'm the Tasmanian devil. Like, I'm showers on, triple beams in the fucking bathtub, toilets just so swallowing, just, lots of money. And I get everything out pretty much. I'm like, okay, well, good luck, anything now. And then phone rings. Hello. Nikki, it's KC. Hey, what's up? Oh my God. So I just got a call from, no, I don't want to name him. So what shall we call him? We'll call him,
Kane.
We'll call him,
Kane.
Kane?
Casey
yeah,
Kane.
We'll call it, there you go. We'll call him Kane. There you go. So Kane, the head of this group. Now they had stolen the $3,500 from Jay. Several weeks prior to this, we found out later on that this girl who was one of our regulars, her brother got busted a tiny little amount, and she had offered to set us up, and she had brought in. So I was going to see my girlfriend, gorgeous little girl named Jennifer, who lived over in Paradise Valley. God, she was gorgeous. But I was going to see her, and they come in as I'm about to leave, and she introduces me to this woman, beautiful Hispanic woman, gorgeous Hispanic woman. She says, hi, this is Nikki. Hi. He's like, this is something, right? And I was like, well, nice to meet you. I'm taking off, and so I leave. Well, come to find out later that girl was supposed to come in, flirt with me, and kind of get to be with me, and then she was going to be like right there, just watching everything. Yeah. Right. And then set me up and bust me. So, but fortunately, I'm like, no, I got a woman. So I split. Anyhow, she's there, and I forget, Jay and them did something, but the girl never saw anything. She never saw shit. And so the girl that was, we could tell she was nervous as shit, and something's up. But just figured, she's nervous because of this new person. I forget. I'm leaving. Jay sends her off. But apparently, the girl was there long enough to bug the place. So during that time, though, a lot of chaotic shit had been going on in the townhouse. Jay and Gina had been gone to the motel, and I was always out and about. I was hardly ever home, dude. I was not one to sit around, So the phone rings, and KC says, Nikki, I just got a call from Kane. He's asking me why my initials and a number are on a piece of paper that they confiscated from Jay's briefcase. And I went, that's the money we gave you for groceries. You told us to write it down. She goes, oh, that's right. Shit, I forgot. She goes, okay. She goes, well, good. She goes, I knew it was for a good reason. She goes, I told him you guys are good boys and he needs to leave you guys alone. She goes, but they're on to you. And I said, yeah, I kind of figured that. And I said, the place is bugged? She goes, yeah, how did you know? I said, that hot Hispanic chick that they sent in here with so and so a week or so ago? Yeah. She goes, you knew that? I said, my suspicions were up. And I was like, but anyhow, I said, like, I was so cocky. I've got nothing like the demure, reserved, restrained person I am now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was known to carry this Ruger Super Blackhawk 44 Magnum with the 8-inch barrel. It's a single action revolver. It's a cannon. And I could take a man's head clean off. Sorry, Clint. And I said, well, I'm on the phone with her, and I said, well, Casey, you tell him this. I said, you tell old Kane there that if I see him coming, I said, I'm breaking this cannon out, and I said, and I'm going down in a blaze of glory. I said, because I'm not going to prison the rest of my life. I said, so it's going to be a shootout. She's like, Nikki, shut up. What are you doing? I'm like, nope. I said, it's death or prison. I'm like, no, I'll take my chances. And I'm 21 years old, dude.
Yeah.
Full of myself. Full of stupid. But she goes, oh my God, Nikki. She goes, no. And I said, no. And I said, I'm not kidding. I said, but everything is cleaned out of here. I said, we're not going to do anything. We can't do anything. We just flushed everything that we had to make money with. I said, so there is nothing literally for us to do. And she goes, she had a call, back then you had the call waiting,
Yeah.
So she had call waiting, and I hear it go click, click. And she goes, that's probably him. Hang on. And she clicks over, and she's like, clicks right back. I'm going to call you back. Bye. And I'm like, and I wait. A few minutes pass. Phone rings, and yeah. She says, okay, here's the deal. He says, they won't mess with you. Oh no, this is what I told her. I'm sorry. Let me go back before he called. I said, I'm talking to her, and I said, and I'm telling you this, Casey. I said, if they come down here, I'm going out. And I said, if by some stroke of luck they're able to take me alive, I said, I swear my first call will not be to any lawyer. I said, it'll be to that realty company, to so-and-so that works next to you, to let her know what her fucking husband is doing on those overtime hours he says he's pulling. And she's like, because she's been having an affair with him for a while.
Yeah.
And I know this. And this is my ace. Like, this is like, all right, dude, let's play.
Yeah.
And then the phone clicks, and she's like, oh my God, Nikki. She calls me back. She says, I've never heard him that mad in my, she goes, since I've known him. She goes, oh my God, he is so fucking furious. She says, okay, here's the deal, Nikki. She says, please stop talking. Please don't say anything else. I know you're pissed off, but please stop talking. I'm like, all right, Casey, go ahead. You guys close down, clean up, get the fuck out of Arizona. Don't come back. I said, we're already cleaned out, shut down. I said, Jay's talking to his sister in Seattle. We'll see what happens. I said, I kind of want to go check it out anyhow. So I said, but I'll come back to fucking Arizona any fucking time I like. And if he wants to try to stop me, by all means, Sheriff, go right ahead. And she knew what I meant, because I'm like Billy the Kid over here. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, Sheriff.
Yeah.
Let's do that dance. But anyhow, that got us out of because they were going to swarm on us. They were literally going to kick our doors in, guns out. Because they knew there was firearms, they knew there was, they knew all kinds. Fortunately, we didn't have any like Rottweilers or pit bulls or anything like that. But it was, like I said, man, we were just two young little rocker kids. We weren't trying to hurt anybody.
Right.
We weren't trying to be big tough guys or any shit like that. But me, I'm from an environment, a raising where I had to fight a lot.
But you're also in the war on drugs era.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Full blown. And I mean, we're literally, the shit we're getting is Pablo Escobar shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're selling. I remember one trip up to Wyoming, dude, when he gave me the shit, he told me, he's like, Nikki, you step on this, man. He goes 50-50. I go, what? Because he knew I was like, I really didn't like, messing with this shit too much if I didn't have to. Like I'd rather have customers come back because of the quality over and over than to try to make the money off of them in one sale.
Right.
You know, I'm I'm a smarter businessman than that. So he gave me this shit one time, 97.5%, dude. Scared the fuck out of me, bro. You don't want to touch that. That's like fentanyl. You don't want to touch that shit, man, because you fucking paramedics and shit getting called. But yeah, man, that was crazy shit back then. But so anyhow,
head up to Seattle.
We head up to Seattle. So my friend Jay's sister, she works at Cairo Radio. She works in the sales department, I believe, and has a house over in West Seattle, and right there at California and 49th. And so that was my first introduction to Seattle, was living in West Seattle. And first weed I ever bought was right there at 2nd and Pine. From a black dude who gave us the weed, and it was nice and stinky and skunky. We were like, woo! Yeah, I remember it was the first time I ever bought like real good skunk weed in Seattle. It was 2nd and Pine Street at like 9 o'clock at night. And people are like, you're crazy. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to do that shit nowadays, but you know, I wouldn't have recommended trying to do it back then in 19. Yeah. But yeah, that was October of 88. And so I get up here. Now, in my high school days, I worked at Sam Goody's back in Richmond, Virginia. So I had that experience. And then when I was in Los Angeles, even though I was homeless, I was still applying for jobs. And I got a job at B. Dalton Software, et cetera, one of the first ones in the country. That was when they were selling software and computers and stuff. And then I got a job at Spencer's because it was holiday. It was like I got there in October of 86. So, you know, it was Christmas season coming up there hiring. So I got the job at Spencer's, the job at B. Dalton, and I went over to Musicland. And because that's Sam Goody's Musicland, same company, and got there. So I have plenty of experience. Come up here to Seattle, 3rd and Pike, which is now a Starbucks. That Starbucks, though, was Musicland. Everybody that knows Seattle back in the day, they know that was the Musicland store right there at 3rd and Pike. So I go in, I apply, I get the job. My assistant manager's name is Patrick. He got big, bushy red hair. I guess he's from over on the island, from Bainbridge. Like a lot of these rock and roll legends that I'm about to talk about came from. A lot of them come from that, you know, part. If they ain't from East Side Bellevue, like Queensryche, they're from the fucking island, like Mother Love Bone and shit. And I think some of the guys from Alice in Chains, if I'm not mistaken. But anyhow, I get up here and I get the job there, working there a few weeks. And Patrick knows, you know, I'm a singer from Arizona. So understand this is winter time. It was probably November, December of 1988. And sitting there, all of a sudden, this guy comes walking in with a long leather duster, and long blonde hair like mine, and hot little brunette chick on his arm. Patrick goes, "Hey, what's up, Andy?" He comes over, goes, "Andy," he goes, "I want you to meet our new employee, Nicky." He says he's a singer. He's just moved up from Arizona. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" He goes, "Yeah," he goes, you got a chance to check out my band yet?" I go, "Who's that?" He goes, we call it Mother Love Bone. I'm like, "No." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "They got it here in the store, man. You should have Patrick open it up and let you check it out." I was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a listen, man." And so I said, "You let me know if you hear any bands that need a singer." He's like, "Absolutely, bro." He goes, "Oh, well." He goes, "Well, you know, welcome to Seattle, man." And it's cool as shit. And then he goes, "This is my girlfriend, Xana." He goes, "Yeah, you know, it's Chloe don't know better." That's Chloe. Xana danced as her dancing name was Chloe. I'm still friends with Xana. Xana's a beautiful lady. Anyhow, she worked at Fantasy Unlimited right there at 1st and Pike, which back then they sold like, you know, metal, heavy metal, cool shit for heavy metal guys to wear, and you know, shit like that. But that was the first friend I made up here, Andy. And then I would see him later on. But one of the last time, the very last time I saw him, and this is a story I'll leave you with. I know we're running a little long here. So when I first moved up here, I met these guys. I was over in West Seattle one night at, The Keg, I think it was, or something like that in Westwood Village. And there was an open mic. And I went up there and I sang Ice Cream Man by Van Halen. And these guys came up and said, hey, man, we need a singer in our band. So this guy, Frank Parker, had a band called Moniker and asked me if I'd sing. So I did, and I hung out with these guys for a little bit. Got to meet these guys, a lot of friends that he knew, a lot of dudes in West Seattle there, a lot of bands. One of the bands called Black is Black, which I thought was one of the most phenomenal bands I ever heard up here. Incredible musicians. Guys would lock themselves. They were all rich boys, too, from Bainbridge, I think. But they would lock themselves in their band room and drop acid and just sit there all weekend just tripping on acid and write music, right? And every one of them could play the other instruments. They could all, like the drummer could play the bass and the guitar and so on. Incredible. But anyhow, Frank takes me to Hollywood Underground one night. This is a club down there at 2nd and I think Washington or something like that, but right there in Pioneer Square. And it was called the Hollywood Underground. And I'm in there, and Black is Black is getting ready to play with a band I think called Dead Flowers. And all of a sudden, here comes this band, and there's a stir. And I hear all these people, hey, what's going on, guys? And everybody's just like, hey, what's up? Turn around, and Frank goes, Nicky goes, let me introduce you to these guys. Because these are some friends of ours. They got a band called Alice in Chains. He says, this is Lane, and this is Jerry, and this is Mike, and this is Sean. And I'm like, how you doing, guys? And they're like, hey, this is Nicky. He just moved up from Arizona. He's singing for us right now. All right on, man. And I'm like, welcome, dude, And that was the first time I met him. And then, of course, there's Alki days, like a day-to-day, like today, man. It's a perfect day to be on Alki. Everybody that lives up here knows, man, on a 70-some degree day with the sun out, man, Alki is the place to be. So back then it was. And right there at Pepper Docks. So where that little pizza place is across the street from Pepper Docks, that was a house. And there was this redheaded dude from Boston that lived there, and he'd throw the killer's parties, man. And he'd have me and friends, whatever. We'd go over to the beach, just like, hey, girls, having a party over here. You want to come over? We would just recruit. But I was hanging out with the guys at the clubs, at shows. I was seeing them on Alki, kicking the hacky sack around and shit with Soundgarden and fucking, Alice in Chains, because everybody's just hanging out there. I mean, that's just what we did. Anyhow, during that time, another story, to lead you back, just so you know, I'm a singer, and I've been singing all my life. My father was a musician, so it's not like I started out, when I was 18. But I get up here, and I'd heard, like, Jeff Tate from Queensryche was the thing at the time, and I'm just all about, man, I want to sing, I want 6 octaves. And so he goes, a friend of mine goes, dude, Maestro Kyle's over on Alki. You should call him up, see if you get an audition. But Nicky, don't be upset if he doesn't take you, because that dude is because everybody that he trains and teaches are pretty much rock stars. Like all the people that he's given lessons to, they're all like major singers. So he's so wanted, sought after that. Somebody said that he picks like 1 out of every 100 people that tries to sit down and so my hand to God and my hand on my mother's and daughter's eyes, I swear to you, what I'm about to tell you is the truth. I told you before, I don't lie. I don't need to. Everything that happened. So I make the appointment. I go over and I sit down. Now, Maestro Kyle is a portly man. To me, he looks like him and Ben Franklin would have got along splendidly. They would have looked alike. So he was kind of bald, but he had the thinning salt and pepper, grayish, whitish hair, long ponytail. Right, pulled down his back. These bifocal glasses, just like Ben Franklin, and he brings me to his house there on Alki. Right, you can see the water and everything. He takes me in. There's a piano right there, and he sits me down. He talks to me for a minute, asks me about my musical knowledge and history and all. I said, grew up singing, blah blah blah. I play saxophone in school, and my dad's a musician, and blah blah blah. I sing in the church. He says, okay. He says, well, I usually tell students, the people that sit down with me, because I tell them, if you have a good ear and a bad voice, I can work with that. He says, but if you have a bad ear, it doesn't matter how good your voice is. He says, if you can't hear tone, intonation, key, pitch, that's hard to get around. And I said, okay, understood. He says, but it sounds to me like you've played music, so you understand what I'm saying. Yes, sir. So we sat there and we started playing scales, and I'm just la 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 la, just keep doing the scales, and we do this for a couple of minutes, and then he stops, and he'd asked me earlier what my goals were, and I was like, I want to be as good as Jeff Tate. And I swear to you, Travis, he stops, he turns and he looks at me, and he says, Nicky, son, I would love to have you as my student. You have a beautiful voice and an amazing ear. He says, you are so pitch perfect on every note. He says, I can tell you have musical training, son. He goes, and I would love to have you as a student. He says, and Nikki, I'll tell you this. You say you want to be as good as Jeff. Son, when I'm done with you, you'll sound better than him. You're a better singer than he was when he came in here. And I can hear the potential in you, and I can hear what you're doing wrong. I can have you fixed in 2 or 3 lessons. I tell most of my students, after 5 or 6 lessons, most people will be able to hear a noticeable difference in their ability, performance, whatever. He says, Nikki, I'm telling you, 2 or 3 lessons, you do what I tell you. He goes, son, you already have a good grasp of what you're capable of doing. Because I can hear you have a powerful voice. He goes, you just need to learn how to control it and the breathing. He goes, and son, I can. And I was like, and I'm sitting there and my head's spinning.
Yeah.
Maestro Kyle just told me and then he tells me, I have to get 6 weeks up front. I charge my students 1 hour a week, $60 an hour. And then 4 books that I ask my students to buy up front, $10 a book. So $40 plus $360, it's $400. I need $400 up front to start training you. And then $360 every 6 weeks after that. I was like, oh, man. And I just dropped my head and I'm like, oh. And he's like, Nikki, and he gave me the greatest advice. He says, not everyone can afford me. And I get that. He says, but please don't let this stop you. Find someone you can afford. Have them train you, teach you how to breathe, And so I did. And it made a huge difference.
Wow.
An enormous difference. But yeah, so I sat down with Maestro Kyle. So fast forward here, damn near almost a year later, I'm at my apartment and a girl I'm dating, I tell her, she lives in Everett. I live in West Seattle off Pigeon Hill, right there off of Delridge. And she says, hey, me and my girlfriend are going to go into Seattle to Pioneer Square to see some bands play. Can I come see you? Sure, I'll leave the apartment door unlocked. So it's about 2:30. I've gone to school that night. I went to National Broadcasting School. Anyhow, yeah, I went to National Broadcasting School.
I was going to say that the voice just snuck out
just all
there.
of a sudden. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I got to school, and there was a guy there that was a taxi driver that had picked up a bunch of Humboldt weed from his friend in Northern Cal. So I picked up an ounce of it, and it's in my apartment under the couch, and it's just reeking. And I hear the door. I hear the noise and the door open, and I hear, oh, this Nikki? Yeah, I know this Nikki. Hell, everybody knows this Nikki. He goes, hey, Nikki, wake up. And I'm open my eyes and look at him, long, blonde, stringy hair in my face. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Jerry? And it's Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. And apparently the girl I'm seeing, her girlfriend and Jerry had hooked up. And so he's wanting to hang out. And so he comes over. And she's like, oh, God, good, you do know him? Because she goes, I was like, oh, God, I'm bringing this guy over. And, like, Nikki's going to be so pissed. I'm like, no, I know Jerry. No, he's totally cool, man. And he's like, I got some beer. I got a half rack of some Budweiser. You want to drink? I was like, yeah, in a minute. Let me wake up. I said, hey, I got an ounce of Humboldt from a guy at school tonight. You want to smoke? He's like, yeah. So I bring out the weed. We're smoking. And this band back then from Texas called Dangerous Toys is out. And I love their shit. So I put the tape in, I start singing it. And Jerry looks at me and he's like, Nikki, are you in a band? And I go, no, brother, I'm looking for one. Because the thing with Frank Parker and I, it didn't work out. He and I ended up getting a fist fight on alcohol. Long story, I'll tell you another time. we made peace at the Cult and Metallica show at Seattle Center when they did that show in 89, where they filmed that show, filmed both shows and made a video out of it. Yeah, I was at both those shows. It was like August 29th and 30th, I believe were the dates, 89. But anyhow, we buried the hatchet, as it were, but we got in a big old brawl right in the middle of fucking Alki in front of Pepper Dogs. It was crazy. Blood and fucking rocker hair going everywhere. But, Jerry's listening to me sing Dangerous Toys album. And let's just understand, this is 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We're smoking weed, drinking beer, just woke up. And I'm just nailing it. I'm just, no, baby. And he's like, Nick, are you in a band? I'm like, no, but I'm looking for one, bro. I go, I'm tired of sitting around watching everybody else do it. And he goes, well, I'm going to start looking around and asking, dude. He goes, because fuck, dude, you need to be in a band. You got a voice, dude. You can sing. And I'm like, thanks, man. I'm like, yeah, I'd kind of like to, you know. He says, well, I'm going to keep my ear open. If I hear anything, bro, I'm going to tell him about you. I was like, all right. So, you know, we hang out and everything. Jerry takes off. A couple months go by, and Dangerous Toys and LA Guns come to town on tour. They're playing Paramount. I'm at school. I get out of school, ride my motorcycle up the hill, go in. I'm standing over in the beer section. Show hasn't started yet. Got a VIP door to the right. General admission doors in the middle there. Everybody, you've been to the Paramount, you know what I'm talking about. And the beer area. I don't know if the beer area is still there or not, but there was a beer section. You go in there and buy beer. And so I go in there and I'm having a pre-show beer, and all of a sudden the VIP door swings open and Jerry Cantrell has the guitarist from Dangerous Toys in tow, and he's energetically pointing at me going, that's him right there. That's him. And so he brings him over. He's like, Nicky, do you know who this is? And I'm like, yeah, you're Danny. You're a guitar player from Dangerous Toys. And of course, you know, our egos are what they are, ladies and gentlemen. If you recognize us, trust me, people, musicians, artists, whomever, people love it when people recognize them, because you know, it's like, oh my God, I'm sort of famous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call my mom. Mama, guess what? But he pulls me up. He's like, "Do you, Nicky, know this is?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're Danny from guitarist from Dangerous Toys." He's like, "Oh, you know who you are?" I go, "Yeah, man, I love you guys." I go, "I love your guys' music, man." He goes, "Yeah, that's what Jerry was saying. He says you're pretty good at singing." And Jerry turned to me and goes, "The fuck I did." He goes, "This guy is fucking incredible, dude." He goes, "You should have heard him singing your shit." He's like, "He's better than your singer." And I'm like, "Jerry, no. And he goes, turns to me, he goes, "No, Nicky, you're going to be famous someday, brother. You fucking got it, dude. You've got the voice. You've got the personality, dude. Because I'm telling you, you're going to be famous." He goes, "And I'm still looking for you. I'm still trying to find a band." I'm like, I'm just staring at him, big eyes, like, okay. And I'm like, and Danny said something to me. He's like, "So is he right?" And I said, "Look, Danny," I said, I believe in karma. And I said, and I would never, ever try to disrespect your singer. I go, the whole reason I like you guys' stuff is because of him and his voice. I go, I can sound just like him. I said, but for a moment, let me put my humility aside. And I looked him right in the eye and I said, if your singer fucks up, I can replace him yesterday. I'm a better singer and performer than he'll ever hope to be. I said, but like I said, and I go back to like, but I believe in karma, so I would never try to step on him. I said, but if he fucks up,
I'm here.
He goes, "Jerry, know how to find you?" I go, Jerry looks, he goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Everybody knows Nicky." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I know where he lives." And he goes, "Yeah, we can find Nicky." It's like, all right, man. I was like, that just happened. So I'm standing there and Jerry goes, "All right, Nicky, I'll see you later." Again. All right, Jerry. And walk off back to the VIP tour. But about that time, I'm noticing there's this other dude over there with long blonde hair standing, and he's kind of watching the whole interaction. And he comes walking over. He says, "Hey, brother, you know Jerry?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "What's your name?" I go, "Nicky." He goes, "You're a musician?" I go, "Yeah, I'm a singer." He goes, "Oh, right on." He goes, "Yeah, I'm a singer too." I go, "I know, you're Mike Howe from Metal Church." And he goes, "You know me?" I go, "Yeah, dude." I go, "Fuck, Metal Church is the shit." I go, "You guys are awesome." I go, "We were rocking out to your band in Phoenix when I was living down there." And he's like, "Oh, right on." He goes, "Well, hey man, what are you doing? You done with your beer?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Fuck, come on." He just takes me over to the VIP section, tells the guy at the door, goes, "He's with me." Opens the door, walks me down. I meet, so Ann and Nancy are there. You know who I'm referring to, okay? Jeff Tate, and I'd already met Jeff at some other function through a friend when she had me MC her fashion show. And Jeff was there up in Linwood, the Linwood Steakhouse. And so I had already met him, but I know I'll wrap it up.
No, you're okay.
I looked over and I'm like, "Hey, Jeff," and he's like, "Oh, hey, man," and Ann and Nancy, they're like, "Oh," and Mike's like, "Hey, everybody, this is Nicky. He's like friends with Jerry," and everybody's just like, "Oh, hey, hi," and I'm like, "Hi." He goes, "Man, this is Ann and Nancy." I'm just like looking at him like, Yeah, dude, trust me, I know who the fuck they are. Like, this is 1989, bro. This is December, literally the end of December 1989. So we're all much younger and, prettier, for sure. But I'm down there and it's just fucking surreal. Like I'm hanging out and there's Mother Love Bone and there's Soundgarden and there's Alice in Chains and there's Heart and there's Queensryche and there's Metal Church and I'm just looking around and there's probably more bands there that, famous Seattle bands or whatever. It was just crazy how easy it was to just cohabitate and hang out with these guys.
For sure.
But somebody told me a long time ago, they said, no, dude, you have a knack of finding that. You have that energy about you where a fucking rock singer like Mike Howe wants to drag you down into the VIP pit to meet everybody down there. And the kind of guy that Jerry Cantrell wants to try to pimp off to. Like, you have that energy. And I'm like, yeah, God, I hope I never lose that.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten me pretty far, man. Like, it's definitely opened up people's hearts and minds and doors for me. Whatever I'm doing, I hope it's right. And I like I said, let's go back. And I was supposed to preempt everything I said today. All praise and glory to God. God has a plan, and I am the proof of that plan.
Amen.
So, yeah, man, that's that story. God. And then when I was working at KZOK, just a quick circular, I was working at KZOK way back, and right when I was doing the Water Boys, and Steve Slayton comes out, and this is when the old KZOK was over at Dexter and Denny behind the Razzmatazz, and I was doing production work with Darren Erickson. I was coming in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays after work, and putting in a couple hours, hanging out and getting to know everybody. So I got to know Steve Slayton and Gary Crow and Maynard and Robin and Mike Jones, who came over from KISW. So Mike and I are out in the parking lot on a Friday, and Steve Slayton saw my show. Like I'd been there for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden I come in one Friday after doing the show on Thursday, so I'd been there Wednesday, did the show Thursday, come in Friday, and I come around the cubicle and I hear Steve Slayton going, "Have you guys seen Nick's show? Oh my God, he's good. Like those guys are so funny." He goes, and he was rattling off stats. Like I had to go and check. He was he was right about all of them. He goes, "I had no idea the guy was such a good." And I come around the corner and I'm like, "Really, Steve?" And I'm like, "You don't look like," and I'm just like, I'm giddy because I'm like, this is a fucking Seattle rock and roll radio legend. And he's just sitting here blowing me up about the Water Boys, I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is so, Nick, you want to come on? And so he had me on his show a couple of times to do like Mariners updates and everything, and dude, it was the most wonderful thing because I'm like, I was in my element, what I mean? I'm like, I'm here with this rock and roll legend, and he liked what I did so much that he brought me. And I'm like, that's what I dreamed of. Like, somebody's going to see that this is what I can do this and I can do it well. And they're going to say, "Hey man, we want to pay you to do that." And unfortunately it didn't happen. It's Fox Sports went and took my shit and stuff. But it taught me a lesson. But anyhow, Mike Jones and I are out there in the KZOK parking lot and shooting hoops on a Friday. And here comes Steve out of the building with Ann and Nancy and their manager from the Love Mongers. And they had just done an acoustic set in the studio and promoting a show that they were going to have at, I don't know, Emerald Queen or someplace, whatever. And Steve comes over, he goes, "Hey," he goes, "Ann, Nancy," goes, "You guys know Mike?" And Mike's like, "Hey, guys, Mike Jones, he's in radio. He's met him plenty of times. So, they're old friends." Me, on the other hand, I was going to say, I met you guys years ago at the Paramount. Mike Howe from Metal Church introduced me to you. But before I could say anything, like Steve goes, "This is Nick. He's our production intern here, but he also produces and hosts a television show on cable access." And I'm like, "Hi," and I shake hands with Ann. And I go to shake hands with Nancy. And when I went to, she grabbed my hand and she pulls my arm and she takes her other hand and she goes, "Oh," and she runs her nails down my arm over my tattoo. She goes, "That is such beautiful work." And she goes, "Oh, it's just lovely." And she looks up at me and I'm just staring at her with these big deer in the headlight eyes. And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have asked, is it okay to touch you?" And I just nod like a little schoolboy, like, "Uh-huh." And I go, I was listening to you in the my mom's GTO, 69 GTO in Richmond when I was like 6, 7 years old. And now I'm standing here and you're touching me. I'm like, if I died today, it would be okay. And she started laughing. And, but yeah, I didn't have the wherewithal to tell them after that because I wasn't expecting her to grab my arm and I just forgot everything. It's like, oh, I met you guys back in '89 at the Paramount, and just whatever, dude. Just she's touching me,
right?
Like Nancy Wilson is fondling me. Anne Rice did the same damn thing.
Really?
Anne Rice, yes, the Queen of the Damned. I stood in line for 5.5 hours down there at Elliott Bay Bookstore. I think this was 1995. And Mem Knocked the Devil had just come out. She was doing her tour. She comes up in the limo, goes downstairs, whatever. I bike messenger all day, come down, stand in line with the people. 5.5 hours, you get to know people.
Sure.
We get down, I get up to her. She takes my arm, and she's just like, I looked at her, I said, Madam Rice, 5.5 hours in the line. Every moment for this moment right now. And I said, it is such a pleasure and honor to meet you. And she's like, and I had the witches of, the Mayfair witches. My ex-wife, she had this original print. So I had Anne sign that. And of course, she had to get Mem Knock the Devil signed. So I had her sign that. But anyhow, and she grabs my arm and she goes, that is such lovely work. I don't know what it is with these famous women and their fingernails down my tattoos, but I was just like, damn. And all of a sudden the people behind me that I've been talking to, they're like, all right, Nick, come on. The rest of us want to meet her too. And I turn and I'm like, hey, show some respect. The Queen of the Damned is fondling me. But yeah, man, like I said, I've had a pretty charmed existence, and for some reason God keeps me around because he has a plan. I think that's good for this week.
That's good for this week. I'm telling you, it's good. It's fun.
I got so much more I want to tell you guys, but his wife wants to barbecue, and there's just only so much I know you guys can tolerate in one podcast session. So I'm trying to break this shit up.
Yeah, these hours,
keep it interesting.
A little over an hour is perfect. It gives those commutes for those people, and then we'll be back in a few weeks. We'll follow up with another, and then you're going to be out of town. So or do you want to announce that to everyone that you're going to be out of town?
Oh yeah, please, man. My address is. Please come take everything. I hide the money. No, my sister's getting married in mid-May, so I'll be back there for that. My daughter's having my second grandson in mid to late May, so it's going to be a wonderful, blessed month of May. But I'm going to try to bring, like I was talking to Travis earlier, folks. I'm going to try to have more topical conversations in the future, and not just about my past. I mean, granted, I can sit here and tell stories of my life, for hours on end, but I come in here sometimes before he starts recording and just all the shit in the world. I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of people, left, right, center. I'm pretty tuned in. I told him I'm like tattooed Alex Jones. I said, so, I'm going to come in here in the coming weeks, and hopefully instead of just filling your ears with old, battles, tales of mine, we can start having some more relevant, topical, up-to-date conversations. And obviously we're living in a very politically charged time right now,
right? And
the election's coming up, and the big bad orange man is coming back, and there's communists and terrorists and dogs and cats living together. It's hard for me to not have an opinion on shit when I'm dialed into it every day. And I actually care. I know a lot of people out there don't have time or are just so overwhelmed and burned out by it. And I get that. But I'm just one of those warriors, man. I'm always going to know. I always want to know what the enemy is up to, because they're never, ever going to catch me slipping. I made that mistake years ago, and I learned from it, and I will not do it again. The practices, the placements, the itinerary and agenda of the enemy will always be known to me, and I'm always prepared. So you won't catch me slipping. Always strapped always.
All right.
So that's it, man. Hey, thanks for having me again, brother.
No problem. Thank you guys for listening. Tell your friends, and then also if you made it this far, congratulations to you. That means you don't have a short attention span. That means you can get lost in thought, and that's awesome. And please send questions, message us. I'm telling you this, even one message, like I think Homer had said 10 out of 10, best episode. He loved it. So,
which one was that?
I think I screenshot it and sent it to you.
That one. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, absolutely love it. One message goes a long way, and it's that ego thing you're talking about a little bit. It's I mean, it's not an ego thing.
Not so much. It's just more of the. Appreciation. I think that was the word I was going to say. Is the somebody appreciates what I'm putting out, so it's not this effort of futility or this wasted, breath. So,
but these will be played for till the end of time because they're on MP3s.
Yes.
I'm going to give them. I want to email them to you as well, so that you have them handy in case anything were to happen to anything out there.
Okay,
you can have it on there and pass it down to grandsons that get born.
Yeah, that would be
all
awesome.
That
would be wonderful. Yeah.
All right, everyone, have a great week. Thanks for listening, and talk to you guys soon.
Oh, and real quick, I just shout out to my shout out. I want to give a shout out to my little sister Maria. Maria Custalow, about to be Neifeld. I'm sorry, Dan. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but either way. But to Maria, my little sister, I love you, and to her husband to be Dan, I will be there with my pimping garden tire suit on. Hopefully, I don't take away too much attention from the lovely couple. But I can't promise anything. But yeah, I love you guys. Shout out to all the rest of my family and to all the people on Facebook and wherever that I have pimped this show to. Yes. Thank you for checking it out and listening. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you giving Travis some love and some feedback. So
thank you.
Hope to see you or talk to you or fill your ears again here soon.
All right.
Peace.
Welcome to the greatest of the greatest, a podcast that you never knew you needed, with interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice, asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening